Colette. I want to welcome our guest that is here today. And I was talking about some of the schools that have been collaborating or partnering up with us, and we're trying to help them in whatever way we can. This individual that I am about to introduce right now, I had the pleasure of meeting about maybe 2 weeks ago at a community resource fair. We went out there to give out information about Bridging the Gap, and she actually just kind of set up right next to us. And so we were right there and we were talking, and she started sharing a little bit about her story, about what she does. And so we really, connected and definitely invited her to one of our meetings and to this radio program to be able to share what they're doing. They are a charter school, and the name of this charter school is called Promesa Academy Charter School. I did not know that they were really located about 4 blocks away from us. So they're like practically our neighbors. So that's another surprise. Sometimes we don't even know different organizations, people that we partner with, sometimes they're just not too far from us. And so we've kind of learned that, and it's a great thing to be able to know that they're there and see how we can help. They are, like I said, Promesa Academy Charter School, located at 603 Merida Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78207. And I'm pleased to have with us here Jessica Urias. Did I say that last name correctly?
Urias.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a way of chopping up names.
It's okay.
That's a very interesting name. I know I've heard another name similar to that, but I don't think it's the same one. But thank you so much for joining us here. I know you come representing Promesa Academy. Let me know a little bit about you. Let me know maybe something that the listeners might be interested in knowing. Do you have any hobbies? Are you from San Antonio or anything like that?
So I think interesting about me is that I am a former foster youth. I have done a lot of advocacy work, and I love hanging out with my kids. I think that's one of my hobbies. I feel like when you're a parent, you just kind of let them control you at this point. You kind of, that's
interesting. I've never heard it put that way.
Yeah.
A hobby.
Yeah, that's my hobby. I don't really have much time except to work, be a mom, and just hope that I'm raising great kids and good people. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, talking and getting to know you a little bit better. I know you mentioned that you are a foster kid growing up and stuff, and your story is, incredible. To know that you are coming from that type of environment and everything you deal. I mean, we hear the stories, right? Mm-hmm. And to know that that's the environment that you're coming from, but to see you now, and even your attitude or your character. When I was talking to you at the community resource fair, I would have never known that would have been the case, because I think you have overcome, or you have dealt with it in the best way you can. And I think you have become better for it versus, sometimes people get worse.
Yeah. I think that I have had a lot of challenges in my life. And I think that it's just one of those things where I have been blessed with a lot of support and a lot of people who, see things in me that I don't always see in myself. And, and I think that's the reason why I enjoy working for this school, is because we're trying to give opportunities and support in ways that, other schools may not be able to give, or may not be really giving at, they're really not giving, not because they don't want to, but maybe because, there's a lot of things that are in the way of providing that support. But yeah, I've been blessed with a lot of support, and I think that when we allow ourselves to lean in and allow people to come in and support us, and not see it as a hand down, or what is it, a hand down? How do you say that?
Like a handout versus a hand up, right?
Yeah, it's putting your pride aside and just saying, what, I need this help right now, and I'm going to take it because I need it. And those moments, those are really strong moments to be able to do that. I feel like it's more weak to, say, I don't want help, I could do it by myself, rather than saying, I really got this, and I can take this help. Because it takes a village, it takes a village to raise kids, and it takes a village to, grow and build, and shared knowledge is important, So yeah.
That's basically your mindset, and that's when you at the school, and I didn't know, like I said before, I didn't know you were pretty much down the street from where we're at. How long has the school been there? I mean, I think you told me that just recently, about 2 years.
Yeah, so Promesa has been open for 2 years, and kind of going back to what I was saying, we have really built and understood the concept of a village and supporting our youth as a whole. Our teachers support other teachers. The culture within the school is just so vibrant and so, again, supportive and very intentional. I think that's one of the great things about Promesa is that the teachers are not just teachers, they're friends. There's a lot of teachers that actually go to birthday parties and, support the kids outside of school with their families. And it's a very community-based school. And I think it's because it's small and we're just very intentional, and our leadership is just so, they understand the importance of a village, right? So,
and that's very important, because I know sometimes you have your public schools and charter schools now that have been really gaining pace, right? Mm-hmm. And I've heard, I've had a couple of schools here too, as a matter of fact, and they all are different. But what I hear a lot, like what you're saying right now, is that they really engage the kids. They have a heart for the kids. They have a heart for community. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying the public schools don't do that. Don't send me any letters or anything. Hey, no, what about us? No, but this is what I've been hearing, right? That's what stands out a lot for me. Mm-hmm. That you really care about the kids and really want them to be successful. And I think when you have that, I think not everybody can do that, because you have to have a heart. When you work with kids, you have to have a heart for that. Yeah. Because like you said, you like working with them. And I mean, my passion is to work with high school youth, but little kids are a whole different ballgame, right? Yeah. You really have to have patience, and you have to have a whole lot working for you if you want to deal with kids. What age group do you have there at the high school? At the school right now?
Currently, we support kinder through 4th grade, so they have to be 5 before September the 1st. And to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying is that, I don't think it's the schools. I don't think it's, I think a lot of times what we don't realize is that it's leadership. If you don't have a leader that may understand the importance of certain topics, then the children are going to be the ones who feel that. And the teachers feel that. And I think going back to our leadership is that, Ambika created, which is the founder, she created this with the background of knowing that she wanted to support a community that needed a very intentional approach. So like what makes us different from other charter schools is that we support the child as a whole. Mm-hmm. So what that means is that we first support them emotionally, and then we support them educationally, right? Because when you're upset and you're mad, you're not going to sit there and want to read a book, right? You're not going to want to sit there and take in information. And I think that's what's really beautiful about our school. For example, in each of our classes, we have safe spaces. So safe spaces are at the corner of the room. They're beautiful, like they're all, designed in their own way. And that's where our students can go and like self-regulate and, kind of take time for themselves. Mm-hmm. And then our teachers are trained in conscious discipline. So our teachers go and they talk to the students and they help them understand their emotions. Okay, you're hungry. Like, as adults, we get hungry, we get hangry, we get upset, we get frustrated, and we know how to departmentalize that. And some of us don't, some of us, I sometimes forget, am I hungry or am I just mad? I don't know. But, it's one of those things where it's like, we have to support them emotionally first and then educationally. And that's what makes us different from other charter schools. And right now, we are accepting kinder through 4th. And then every school year, we'll be adding a school year up until 8th grade. And then hopefully we'll be able to get a grant for our high school. But right now we're definitely going to 8th grade.
What you're talking about, I keep hearing a lot again, you're engaging the kid, not just, okay, they're coming to school, right? And you're teaching them, the education part of it. But I think you're engaging them more emotionally, or engaging them more as a person. Yes. Versus, okay, you're just another number, so to speak.
Exactly. We want to raise adults who are healthy mentally, right? Who can really go out there and there's no boundaries. From my experience as a former foster youth, I went into 18 different foster homes in 8 years. And during that time, I built a lot of trauma and I built a lot of instability. And I didn't know who I was as as an adult. No one taught me how to departmentalize my emotions. And, no one taught me that it's okay to be sad. It's okay to, feel these things. And I think that's what's beautiful about this school is that they understand that the community is needing an approach that can help change mindsets, right? And change generational habits.
Right.
And that's why we chose, and that's why Ambika chose to be in this area and chose that plot of land, was because she wanted to make sure that we were giving an equitable approach to education to a community that has not always been supported, which thank God for so many nonprofits that are coming into the community and supporting it, right? And giving it that equitable approach. But we want to give that equitable approach to education, right? And we want to build these youth to be great people. And they are great people. They're great kids. We don't want to limit them. We want to give them opportunities that just engage the creativity, engage the emotions, engage all of that so that they don't have any limitations.
Exactly. And, what I understand is that, me growing up, looking at when I was growing up in school at that level, I don't remember any of that. I was just more of a, let's learn your ABCs, let's learn your numbers, and okay, go back home. But again, like what you're talking about, I see that. And like I said, I see a lot of that in the charter schools. I don't know about the public schools because I haven't had anybody, come on board and discuss public schools, but I know that that's what I hear a lot, the engagement part of not just, okay, let's teach them the education part, but also like you're saying, so they can be great adults. And that's, I think a lot of it is, lacking right now on that part, because I remember one of the youth that was part of the group, came back after she graduated, or I ran into her, and she said, I really, the fact that they taught me English and, history and all that was great. He said, but I didn't learn anything about life after I graduated. I'm out here trying to figure certain things out. And I think that's the part that I think what you all are doing right now at a very early age is giving them that empowerment to know, okay, it's not just the education side of it, but also you're capable to doing so much more.
Yes.
And guiding them and putting them in that mindset already at a very early age. Because like I always tell kids, I say, look, you can't do something you've never been taught to do. And so a lot of these things that have been probably maybe neglected in the past are now being able to be focused on and starting to say, okay, we need to do more than just teach them their ABCs or their math or all this. And so I think what I'm hearing and what I see now is that engagement is becoming more and more nowadays than it was before.
Definitely. I think you're hitting the nail on the head. And I think that, one of the each of our teachers specialize in their own subject. So, kind of like when you were in high school, you went subject to subject. And one of the things that we are really big on is making sure that we have our students understand that it's perfectly okay to be imperfect. And this is one of the things that I teach my son. I think it's important for us to take that mindset out of our minds and understand that imperfection is great. So yeah, I definitely think you're hitting the nail on the head.
And that's something, again, that's going to make a big difference, I believe, in the child's life. Because like I said before, when I grew up, it was mostly just, here you go, learn your ABCs and do this. But I felt that, looking back now, once you get older and you realize, okay, it was just basically very basic thing. But then again, that was back then. That's what they probably knew or understand. But as we've progressed and, you learn more and things happen, you realize, no, you know what, we need to do this because, this world that we live in, man, you have to be really well equipped to be able to be successful, because there's so much that goes on. And if you're not equipped, you're kind of going to get left behind.
Yeah. And, we have to acknowledge that 8 hours of the day our students are at school, right? So kind of like as adults, we say that our second home is our job. And maybe for some of us, it's our first home. But it's because we spend so much time there, and that's how we should look at it. When we are choosing schools for our youth and our children, we need to be able to say, okay, is this a school that I would like them to be for 8 hours of the day, right? And is this a school that's going to support them as a whole? And I think there's so many beautiful schools out there just doing so much great work. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love our founder, is that she's just amazing. She's the type of person that will say, okay, if this is not a school for you, let's find a school for you, right? And there's just so many options in San Antonio to be able to give that equitable approach to education.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's beautiful to me.
Yeah, and that's, it's rare that you find somebody that will go a little bit beyond what they need to do, because it's more like, okay, well, if it doesn't fit you, there, sorry, bye.
Yeah. And, that speaks on the culture, right? That speaks on the culture of the love that she has for just children, and the love that she has for making sure that no child gets left behind.
I was looking at your website, right? Because I wasn't sure. It's not that I wasn't sure. It's just that I didn't know a lot of, like I said, I didn't know that you were there, down the street from us, but I was just kind of curious as to, learning a little bit more about the school. And I'm looking at her picture, and she looks very young.
Yeah.
And I saw a little bit of her profile there that she's at a very early age, I think 14 or something. And I think I'm trying to remember where it was, but she kind of got some kids together.
Yes.
And I think that's where maybe her passion or her focus of, I want to do this to teach kids.
Yeah, she was doing classes in her house for underprivileged youth. And so she's always had this in her heart, right? At such a young age, just think about it. As a 14-year-old, just telling all these kids, come inside your house and let me teach you so you can be better and you could be great. And I think that speaks on the love, right, that she has for the students. And oh my God, hopefully, so we have an event on the 16th, but hopefully, we have some new families come out, but you can see the love she has for all of them. She knows every child by name. Like, she will tell you, like, when I need to do something with RSVPs, she'll be like, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so was there. Like, she's just, these kids are her children,
That's her focus.
Yes. And it's just so intentional. It's just so beautiful and so intentional. And yeah.
And I always say that, as far as like the partnerships that we have through Bridging the Gap from people that will come on board, I really feel that's a blessing in itself, because I feel people are really wanting to do something for the community. It's really about helping people, right? I understand it's the paycheck too, but I feel that a lot of people really have a heart for helping other people. And so I'm grateful that that's a lot of the partners that we have are exhibiting that they really care to try to help people in whatever capacity they can, either by providing a resource or providing a service, or if they can't help them, they'll send them to someone else that says, try over here, because we don't do that, or maybe that's not something that we can help you with, but let me connect you with someone who can. And so that speaks a lot, right? Because it's very easy to say, yeah, I'm sorry, can't help you, and figure it out.
Yeah. And I think, so we've been open for 2 years, and now this past year we've become very intentional with building partnerships with local nonprofits and bringing them to our school. For example, the event that we'll be having on the 16th, we're having Any Baby Can come out. We're having dogs for adoption, that if someone wants to come out and get a puppy, they can come and adopt a puppy. And, we're really big on just partnering with local nonprofits so that we can, like you said, bridge the gap. We have the parents, we have the youth, so why not bring the services to them so they don't have to worry about extra gas to spend, right? With this inflation going on. We need to save as much as we can.
Absolutely. And we're going to be there too. Bridging the Gap is going to be there to provide some of the, resources or services that are available. Let people know. Let's touch on that real quick before we kind of come to the end of our program here. But you said it was July 16th, right? And that's going to be open to the community?
Yes. So open to the community. Come out. If you have students going to kinder or first, second, third, or fourth, come out, come do a tour, learn as much as you can, enjoy the free snow cones, and we're going to have jumpy houses. Let's see, we will have puppies for adoption from Grace Dog Rescue, Saving Grace Dog Rescue. We'll also have Any Baby Any Baby Can coming out. While supplies last, free formula. We will have free boxing lessons. And what else? Let's see. And you'll be able to meet current families. Come out. Like, learn, ask all the questions you can, pull them to the side and say, what do you like about this school? And, fill it out and see if this is something that would fit your child's needs. And, if not, pull us to the side and we can give you some options.
What time is the event?
Oh, yes, the time. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Saturday, July the 16th. It will be at our school's location, so Promesa Academy Charter School, 603 Merida Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78207, of course.
All right. Real quick, a phone number where they can contact you maybe to get more information.
Yeah. Phone number is going to be 210-942-1703.
All right. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for coming and sharing what Promesa is doing. Thank you, listeners. We are just at the end of our program already.